counterattack, which was like 12 or 15 Hydras, I killed with a lot of efficiency because I sacrificed a lot of SCVs.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I knew I had the military advantage, which I could convert into some kind of positional economic advantage.
Yeah. Wow. It's kind of insane to think that it was 55 food to 113 not long ago, and now you are ahead by looks like 25 food. So we're gonna go ahead and be resuming in 3, 2, 1, Shazam! So many more of his units still swarming in here. Trying to do a little bit of magic, but doesn't look like there's going to be too much ability for him to do so. So it looks like for the first time in this game, you're actually in an advantageous position. And you have 2 orbital commands, cuddling and holding hands, helping to mine maximally. But you're still continuing on this aggression streak. And I know that we can see that you're ahead by about 30 food. But would there be any motivation for you to start being passive at this point, now that you have your expansion up and you're a little bit in a leading position?
If he hadn't just tried to attack me so heavily, then yeah, I would say I have to keep up with the prodding, I have to keep consolidating my advantage, attacking, falling back, regrouping. But when I defeat a big group of units like that over and over and over, and I end up with an army of, 16 Marauders and 3 Medivacs, that tells me it's time to attack.
Yeah. When you've just been defending, and you have something sizable to work with, and you're just like, oh, hey, it probably has nothing.
Right.
And at this point, it looks like Katz is on 0 mineral patches, and I would call that an advantage.
It's a little one.
You take what he gives you. Biggest
Right?
lesson. And it looks like just some more drones running around. So it looks like some cleanup is going on. Now, was this game fist pump worthy? I know that you said you play because not because of the joy of winning, but because of the hatred of losing. But I would throw down a Tiger Woods fist pump after a game like this.
I felt pretty good about this game. I'm pretty sure I jumped on Ventrilo and yelled at everyone like, "Hey guys, check out this game I just played. It's pretty awesome."
Uploaded it to your Twitter, like, everyone download, get thousands of followers, like, point and laugh. And wow, yeah, I mean, you've locked us down. Looks like Kat's doing the good old all-in up top. And look, there's the rally up at the expo, having all those Marauders there to protect the good old double command center expand. I would call that an unorthodox move. Don't want people thinking that you should build 2 command centers all the time.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that normally.
But, while this game's wrapping up, 2 beautiful fungal growths right there, as the game brings him down to 8 food. But, 1 food. He has a unit somewhere here. Not entirely sure where that is, but it exists. And it looks like Katz says the GG and busts out. So now we're happily going to be taking a few questions, so feel free to direct them to whomever you choose. But remember that I'm here every day, and QXC is only here now. So ask him questions. But I actually want to open with a question myself. What do you think Katz could have done to change that situation? Do you think that it was his expanding pattern? Was he trying to be too aggressive? Or was it like his unit composition?
The main thing was rightly so, he was ahead. He recognized he was ahead. He recognized that the game should have been over a long time ago. And probably partly because it was just a practice game, he got a little complacent. His unit composition wasn't exactly what it could have been. Definitely Speedling, Baneling, Infester into the mid-game really wants mutas along with it. And he didn't expand. He didn't take the smart expansions. He took the more risky ones.
Yeah. And I love the way that you said that he took the riskier ones, because I think that's something that it's so easy to do when you're ahead. You're like, I'm gonna take every gold expo on the map, because I can. But you only need to barely win, because whether you win huge or win little, you still win. And Battle.net 2.0's ranking system doesn't take awesomeness of game into account. So I like that note about just, little tiny advantages. So here's a question from Sun Devil. So QXC, what are your thoughts on getting just 1 Viking out instead of a Medivac? So that way you can massacre the overlords sitting all over your base. Or do you think that the game was just too close at that point? And I also want to add to that he had largely roaches in the mid game instead of the mutalisks that you just mentioned. So again, what are your thoughts on any Vikings in that situation?
Part of the problem is because I was fighting so close to the line, like picture me backed up against a cliff and Cats is just constantly pushing me, trying to make me fall off. Like that's where I felt like I was
Yeah.
for the majority of that game. And so I didn't feel like I had the time to sit down, have a little tea party with my Viking friend and, send him out killing overlords.
Not that we're above tea. I'm personally a big tea aficionado
Oh no, I
myself.
like tea as well.
Oh yes, awesome. Now,
Basically,
oh, go ahead, please.
it came down to I needed to make the strongest decision at the time for everything, and I didn't think that killing 5 or 6 overlords would win me the game, but I did think that having an extra medevac would give me the edge I needed in a critical battle.
Uh-huh. Now, another question that I have, you went for the 1-1 upgrades when you were up against the wall on your back foot, but sometimes, often when you're in an aggressive game, especially where you are trying to make a comeback with a lot of cute drops, a lot of little tiny unit pushes, you'll often see a player get one upgrading structure, like one engineering bay, and just constantly upgrade through it all game long. Like get the 1-0, and then get the 1-1, and then get the armory, and then start getting the 2-1. And over time, it eventually builds up to a nice late game army. Do you still, given that choice to get a slightly later 1-1 with guaranteed better upgrades, and let me try it one more time. But by getting the slightly later 1-1, you also get a little bit more money for units earlier on. God, let me try that a third time. By getting a 1-0, like if you just had one engineering bay, you could have done a little bit more aggression early on. Because you would have had a little bit more units. Do you still stand by your idea of getting the 1-1 upgrade and then having 2 engineering bays doing nothing for the greater majority of the game?
Okay, so part of the problem there is I had intended to go for faster upgrades,
Yeah.
but as you saw, I had to lift up my command center at my natural a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, like
And
50.
between Marauders and Medivacs, I didn't have the gas to go to 2-2 upgrades because I wasn't able to secure my natural. Ideally, that build, that kind of situation where I'm like, okay, I'm losing now, I'm playing for the game in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'll see where I am there. If I'm still losing, then I play for the next game in 5 minutes. Like ideally,
Oh, that's
or not
interesting,
ideally, but let's say Cats hadn't given up so many bases and hadn't let me get on that snowball path back to where I was in the game. Those 2-2, those 2-2 or 3-3 upgrades would have given me a much stronger mid to end game than just sitting on one engineering bay doing upgrades. Like if I hadn't gotten back into the game and gotten to a point where I was like, okay, units are more important than upgrades right now because I can make an advantage. I can do things.
Yeah.
If I hadn't gotten to that point, then the upgrades become more critical because I'm not playing for the now game. I'm playing for the game in 5 minutes again.
And that's actually a really interesting thought process that you're describing. The I'm playing for 5 minutes from now and that's it. Not 5 minutes and on, but literally exactly 5 minutes from now, that's all I care about. And that's kind of a cool way to think that, I'm going to get double ups now to have something magical happen in the mid game, and I don't even care about the later stages of the game. Does this bleed through in a lot of your other game, in your other matchups like TVT, TVP?
This is a kind of idea that I use, but don't get me wrong, it's not like, okay, 5 minutes, that's it, I'm going to attack, I'm going to see what happens, and I'm just going to throw my hands up in the air and, close
exactly
my eyes,
5 minutes
go into
time.
It's okay. From 0 to 5 minutes, I have a plan.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll be able to execute it. And from there, I need to adjust what I'm doing because I'm going to aim for some kind of later timing attack. Most of my timing things come at the first 5 minute mark, and then from there I have some kind of transition. And I always have in mind the end game. What do I do if the game goes to 45 minutes? Do I have the right things in place to give me good infrastructure so I can play the end game?
Yeah.
And in that case, I had 7 barracks, I had the reactor on my my starport. I had 2 engineering bays. I had everything I needed if I needed to go into this kind of longer, more prolonged play. And because of the way my aggression was playing off, I didn't have to. And so I make decisions on the fly, but I always try and have this plan of, well, what do I do in general against Zerg when everyone's got full upgrades? He's got Hive Tech and Broodlords. Like, what do I do in general? And I want to make sure I can account for that.
Yeah, yeah. I love that thought process. That is hip. And I have some more to say about that, but to hell with it. Let's take some more questions. Yeah, let's take one from Jihua, who just says, how would Mutalisks have worked against your unit composition? Because you said that, if I have just Marauders and Medivacs,